What's up, everyone? Welcome to this week's Franchise Empire newsletter. And I'm going to share my screen here. Today, we are going to hit on a bunch of great opportunities. Well, you'll be the decider of if it's a great opportunity or not. But we're going to touch on some opportunities that we think are interesting and do our best to provide you some valuable information. So today we're going to talk about a fast-growing franchise that shows $645,000 of EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization. Although it's not the exact same as profit, most people consider it to be profit. That's the technical term. We're going to talk about a resale in Texas with strong growth potential that was opened up in 2017. A marketing executive who bought a franchise with recurring revenue, and a recent podcast episode with an ex-Pentagon employee explains the psychology of Billboard marketing. That is a business that they're in, which it can be relevant to any of you that either are franchise owners or plan to be franchise owners. So, as we're diving in today, drop me a comment and let me know where are you tuning in from? What city and state? Let's see. Let me drop this below. What city and state are you tuning in from? Boom. And then if you're watching the replay, drop me a comment and let me know that you're watching the replay. So as we dive into this, for those of you who do not get this email every Sunday morning when we send it out, then make sure to go to franchiseempire.com/newsletter, and you will receive it in your inbox for free every Sunday morning. And you don't have to wait until Wednesday when we do this newsletter. What's up, Raiders for Life from Washington, D.C.? Hold on. So does that mean you're a Raiders fan, but you're in DC? Is that what you're telling me? I'm very curious. I'm a Commanders fan. We just got destroyed by the Eagles. My wife is an Eagles fan, unfortunately. Almost a deal breaker. Oh, yes. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, us Commanders, I'd love to pick up Max Crosby. We could use an edge rusher. So if we wind up taking Max from you, I'm sorry, but not sorry. And we got Joshua from Dallas. What's up, Joshua? I hope you're not a Cowgirls fan, because us Commanders are going to continue. Actually, you guys did beat us once this year, which was quite embarrassing. So I'm not Brandon. I'm not from DC, but I grew up in Northern Virginia. So that's why. Oh, Brandon, you're from DC and you're a Cowboys fan. Oh my goodness, what is going on with the world today? What is happening? Okay, I could talk about football all day long. Let's get on to business, y'all. All right, so let's talk about the featured resale. Make sure that I'm magnified enough here. So this resale is by Window Genie. And Window Genie is I think we covered one recently, a different resale from Window Genie, but Window Genie is a company through Neighborly, by the way. And let me drop this bad boy here. Boom. Neighborly is a company through Window Genie is a company through Neighborly. And what do you know? They do window cleaning and power washing. I think we talked about that in the last newsletter that I did. They have 113 units throughout the country. Neighborly is the largest home services franchisor in the United States. They have over 20 brands, and just quality overall. So this specific resales in Texas, the asking price is $300,000. Last year revenue was $482,000. So I mean, unless they're doing really, really strong net margins, that asking price seems a little bit high. So, of course, with any sort of resale or anything, everything's negotiable. They've been open since August 2017. Part of what could be the reason why the price is a little bit higher is because it includes vehicles and equipment and inventory, because that could raise it, right? So maybe they're going off of, let's say the business itself is valued at 200,000, but then with all the vehicles and equipment and inventory, maybe that's worth 100 grand. But if you want to get more details on the net of this business, look at the profit and loss statement and talk to the owner. Then go to franchiseempire.com/resales. When you enter your info, just let us know, hey, I'm interested in that Window Genie franchise for sale in Texas, and we can get you connected over. What's our take on this? So San Antonio, by the way, is a super strong market for window cleaning, just due to its large population, growing economy, climate conditions that contribute to the need of regular exterior cleaning of homes and businesses with dust storms, high humidity, and a lot of pollen. Jeez, my goodness, that is one of the things I do not miss about living in Northern Virginia, is that the pollen. I mean, sometimes we would wake up and there's just like this yellow-green coating over your car, over everything. We don't really have that here down in Florida, at least where I live. But yeah, I remember that. And according to the FDD, the average job system-wide in 2023 was $512, with an average number 4.7 per day. So this location appears to be underperforming based on these revenue numbers. So, could be a good opportunity to come in and get your hands dirty. Get your hands dirty, and grow this territory and this location. And of course, with this sort of business, by the way, for those of you guys who may not be familiar, in these businesses, the objective is not for you to be going out there and cleaning windows and doing power washing. Your role as the owner is in going out there and building the business, right? And working on the sales and marketing plan, generating more jobs, more revenue, and hiring techs and technicians that can do the work. That's your role as the owner, to market, sell, and grow your team, right? So in theory, like the whole getting your hands dirty, I mean, it sounded funny, but and who knows, maybe there's a day where someone calls out or whatever, and maybe you do need to do something like that. But that's not your role as the owner. And any of these franchises that produce significant sales or volume, and build multi-territory empires, the owners are not out there doing the work. They're out there being the leaders of their business. That's what they're doing, right? So that's really the role of what you want to seek as an owner. So again, if you want to learn more about, get connected to this resale, or if you just want to find out, hey, are there any resales in my area? What is available? You can go to franchiseempire.com/resales. You'll be able to schedule a call with our team, and we'll be able to check on that for you. All right, let's move on to the next. Joshua said he's a Saints fan, unfortunately. Yeah, man, you guys had started out really good this year too. I think you guys were like one of the first undefeated teams, like 3-0, 4-0, and then things just kind of went south. We did pick up Marshawn Lattimore from you guys, who did not play well for the few games that we played him. Man, he gets real handsy with receivers. Got a bunch of PI calls. So yeah, that's been interesting. All right, moving on. Please take Carr. No, we don't want Carr. No, we'll stick with Jaden Daniels. We shall stick with Mr. Daniel. All right. Before we get on to the franchise of the week and talk about the one that shows the $645,000 of EBITDA, $2.4 million in revenue, in every newsletter we celebrate a new franchise owner that worked with our team at Franchise Empire. So Jeff was a former marketing executive located in Nashville. He wanted something that was B2B and had recurring revenue element. So our team, went hard to work figuring out, hey, what's available in his market, what's going to align with his goals, his skill sets, etc., and connected him with a few different brands. And then, we provided him the resources and tools to do due diligence, do franchisee validation with those franchises that fit his criteria. And he actually wound up choosing a landscaping franchise that actually only does commercial landscaping. Funny enough, actually, we're hiring a bunch of people, and I was interviewing someone today for a management role, and this person had actually worked for different franchisees, and actually at one point for the franchisor with this specific brand. Um, and it has some high potential, actually, this particular brand. So yeah, Jeff went with this brand because you can do recurring commercial customer accounts, which is pretty cool. So the lifetime value, if you guys are familiar with that term, the lifetime value of a customer can be significant. I mean, imagine you get a commercial client, right, that's paying you, let's say, 50 grand a year, right, for the things that you're going to do. Maybe you get a neighborhood, right, where you're doing all the landscaping for that neighborhood or the HOA or whatever, and it's 50 grand a year, 4 grand a month. That's 48 grand a year. I know, I'm estimating. If you have that customer for 5 years, the lifetime value of that customer is $250,000. The cool thing about that sort of business is that, who you can hire in terms of salespeople and what you can pay them in compensation and what you can spend for marketing and the cost to acquire a customer. It becomes really exciting. And some of the lower ticket, businesses, it's just different. So, higher ticket businesses definitely offer a different opportunity. That's me nerding out for a second, but hopefully you guys got some value out of that little snippet there. By the way, I don't know that I've talked about this in a while, but if you guys want to go see some of we have a bunch of reviews on our website. It to be able to We have like 25 or 30 like video testimonials from clients. So you can go to our website and check that out, and all sorts of like testimonials and screenshots and cool stuff. So you can just go to franchiseempire.com/reviews if you want to check it out. Anyways, let's talk about the franchise of the week. Franchise of the week. And this is actually right now, this is a franchise that is quite popular. Excuse me. My body's fighting a little bit of a cold here. Their territories are going pretty quick. So if you guys do want us to check to see if the territory is still available, if you're interested in this one, I would say go to franchiseempire.com/check territory, fill in your info sooner than later, so we can check. But Voda, I'm friends with the CEO and founder, Dan, great guy, and I know really, really committed to making sure and helping his franchisees to be successful. But originally, the previous founder was this guy who started this fire and water restoration business in 2009. Dan, the current CEO, bought that company and the rights to franchise it and started doing that. And since then, they've just exploded. So they have 139 territories awarded. This was as of, I believe, their last FDD. Then I know the numbers are more since then. I think they're at over 200 awarded, and I don't know the exact amount open at this point, but over 42 at that point in time. Franchise fees basically 60 grand. Royalty is 7%. Total investment range between $176,000 and $257,000. I've actually done a whole video on this business, but what they do is they help customers with cleaning, so carpet, upholstery, tile, and grout, and restoration, water and mold mitigation services. And what's interesting about that is, so the fire and water restoration business is known to be a high ticket business that can produce significant amounts of revenue. There's a lot of them in the franchise space or that often have high average unit sales. Sometimes the challenge to that sort of business is number one, jobs can be sporadic, and you could have, let's say, a $60,000 job, right, for 1 month, and then maybe it takes a while to get another job, or you could have $100,000 job. So there can be, big fluctuations or time between jobs. So, what they do is they also do the cleaning part to help stabilize the revenue, which is pretty interesting. And this business is recession resistant in the sense that, fire, water, and mold mitigation is not, it's a need, not a want. If you have a pipe burst or if there's a leak, it's not like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I think I want to call a restoration company. No, it's like you need to. That needs to happen. So let's talk some numbers. So this is from their corporate location, and you can see that in 2021 it did 1.4 million. Then going to 2023, 2.4 million for corporate location, and you can see that their adjusted EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, was at 26% in 2023, 23% in 2022, 19% in 2021. So clearly that this business has some strong opportunity. And we've had a handful of clients that we've helped place with Voda, and man, we've gotten fantastic feedback from them so far, and know that a few of them who have been rocking and rolling with their business for a little bit and are off to fast starts. I have to be ambiguous. I can't state any numbers because franchising is regulated, and you can't state any sort of income claims or sales claims that are not within the FDD. So I wouldn't be able to share any of those figures, but I know that the people that we've connected with Voda that have become franchisees, I've only shared positive feedback. So again, if you want us to check if your territory is still available with Voda, a lot of territories are sold out. Go to franchiseempire.com/check territory and schedule a quick meeting with our team, and we'll be able to check for you. And if they're not available, there are some other concepts that have kind of similar potential, that we'd be able to check. So again, it's essentially like two franchises in one. Carpet and floor cleaning produces consistent and predictable revenue immediately, which drives brand awareness and leads to higher revenue. And you have insurance paid restoration jobs. So, again, it's also a need, not a want. 14,000 people experience water damage every single day, which is pretty wild. They have industry-leading proprietary technology suite and analytics, which is pretty cool. Like some of these older franchises, like their tech stack is not very good. And franchisees may not have access to great technology. That's one of the things that I think Voda does well is they have a good tech stack, which is important, right? And they help with marketing, lead generation, and appointment setting. So that's pretty powerful. They have a commercial outreach and 24/7 call center, which is pretty cool. So I know that some of our clients actually Voda, the corporate, through some of this lead generation and appointment setting and stuff like that in their marketing, actually helped get some of our clients jobs, which is pretty cool. By the way, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat, in the comments, if you have any questions. And of course, if you're just watching this video, hit the thumbs up wherever you're watching, whether on YouTube, whether on LinkedIn. Would really appreciate it. This is free. We spend a lot of time putting these newsletters together, me and the team. And so the small asset we have from you is to just hit the thumbs up button wherever you're watching it, because it helps Tell the algorithms that you guys are enjoying it, and it'll show the videos to more people. Okay. Last but not least, the latest episode of the Zero to Profitable Franchise podcast, which I need to make sure our team swaps that out now. It will no longer be the Franchise Empire Show. Is about marketing and billboard marketing. And so there's a phrase in business, by the way, that goes something like this: the best marketer wins. Actually, there's two phrases that you guys need to know if you haven't heard them. If you plan on being an entrepreneur, or if you already are an entrepreneur, it's something that I had to learn, and not knowing it and implementing it contributed to many of my business failures prior to franchising, which is that the best marketer wins and sales cures all. And so at the end of the day, the people that have the most successful businesses are not the ones that are the smartest, and they're not the ones that have the best product. It's the hard truth. Think about it. McDonald's food is crap. It tastes like crap. Well, actually, I think maybe for some people it tastes pretty good. But one can argue that it's definitely not the best product, right? But they're fantastic at marketing, right? Really aggressive with marketing. They have really good systems. So the key to making a lot of money in business is getting really good at marketing and generating sales. And if you do those two things, you'll be able to you'll have enough money to hire great people that can help do the operations and run the business, etc. So you can check out that episode on YouTube. Just look up our Franchise Empire YouTube channel. Go subscribe to that one, or wherever you listen to podcasts. We're on all the podcast platforms. So looks like we have some questions, or a question. Joshua said, how big of a difference is the EBITDA and net profit, Rusty? Just making sure I'm doing my math right. Generally speaking, the simplest way to explain it is that it's basically the same thing. Yeah, it's just the easiest way to explain it. I'm just trying to figure out how deep do I want to go here. So as an example, though, so you have your profit, right, which shows in your. What most people don't realize, everyone's like, "Hey, I want to know the profit. Profit's the only thing that matters." It's actually not true. Profit is a very deceptive number. Here's an example. Depending upon the type of business that you're in, if you buy a piece of equipment that's expensive enough and that you depreciate, you don't put it on your profit and loss statement. So you could buy a piece of equipment that's 50 grand, pay 50 grand for it, but you actually don't put that expense on your P&L. So when people say profit's the only thing that matters, it's really just not true. And so in that example, right, you might have profit, and let's say it says your profit's $200,000, but what's not factored in there, so the I in EBITDA stands for interest. So as an example, you have a loan, right? Let's say you're paying on a business loan. And so now you have $200,000 in profit. Let's say that you're paying $20,000 a year in interest, right, on your loan. Well, now subtract that. Like, so you're not keeping the $200,000 profit. It's not real because you still have the interest that you're paying in your loan payment. You still have to pay taxes on, whatever your taxable income winds up being for the business. So it can get really kind of complicated and tricky, but EBITDA is a very good benchmark overall. All right, guys, that is it for today. Again, before you rock and roll, make sure to hit the like button. Every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, we will do these newsletters, and look forward to seeing y'all there. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.